I've always been careful about who I let into my life, but sometimes the people you don't let in find their way to you anyway. It started on Valentine's Day, or at least, that's what I thought. I was leaving the store, picking up chocolates and flowers for my girlfriend, when I bumped into a guy just outside the sliding doors. He wasn't anyone I recognized, mid-30s, with thick, dark hair, dressed like someone who had stopped caring a long time ago. His face was too thin, his eyes sunken. I apologized quickly and kept moving, but as I loaded my car, I noticed he was still standing there, just watching me. I brushed it off as my imagination. That night, as I sat in my living room watching TV, my phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "You should be more careful." My stomach dropped. I responded with a simple, "Who is this?" But there was no answer. Just silence. Over the next few days, little things started happening. My trash cans knocked over in the morning, my back gate mysteriously unlatched, muddy footprints leading up my driveway. My first thought was neighborhood kids messing around, but something about it felt targeted. Then came the pictures. One morning I woke up to another text from the same number. It was a photo of me, taken from outside my bedroom window. My curtains had been half open the night before, and in the photo I was asleep, vulnerable. My breathing quickened and I nearly dropped my phone. I called the police immediately. They took a report, but without anything concrete, they said they couldn't do much. I installed cameras around my house that same day, determined to catch whoever was doing this. That night barely slept, constantly checking the cameras on my phone. At around 2 a.m., I saw something move on the feed, a dark figure at the edge of my backyard. He stood just outside the glow of the security light, still, waiting. Then in one smooth motion, he stepped forward, and I saw his face. It was the man from the store. I scrambled to grab my phone, dialing 911 with shaking hands. As I pressed the call button, the man on the screen did something that made my blood run cold. He held up a heart-shaped box of chocolates. Not a frantic, desperate wave, just a slow, knowing gesture. Then he turned and walked away, disappearing into the darkness before the police arrived. The officers searched the area but found nothing. No footprints, no evidence. They told me to keep my cameras running and to call if anything else happened. I didn't sleep at all the next night, or the night after that. Every noise made my heart pound. Every shadow stretched too long in the dark, but nothing happened. The texts stopped. The man didn't return. Then exactly 1 week later, I received another message. I found a better way in. My stomach twisted in knots as I read it over and over again. A better way in? My eyes darted around my house, checking every lock, every window. And then I heard it. A slow, deliberate creak from inside the house. He wasn't outside anymore. He was already here. I grabbed the nearest object, a heavy candle holder, and crept toward the sound. The silence was deafening, broken only by the faintest shuffle of feet on hardwood. I inched forward, heart pounding against my ribs until I reached the hallway. The shadows seemed to stretch, playing tricks on my already frantic mind. Then I saw it. A dark silhouette, standing in the doorway to my bedroom. Motionless. Waiting. I didn't hesitate. I swung the candle holder with every ounce of strength I had, but he was faster. A hand shot out, catching my wrist in a grip that felt inhumanly strong. My phone slipped from my fingers, clattering to the floor, the screen lighting up the face of my intruder. It was him, the man from the store, the man from the cameras, the man who had been watching me. He smiled. "I just wanted to be your Valentine," he whispered. The words sent an icy dread coursing through my veins. I wrenched my arm free, stumbling back. He advanced, slow and deliberate, savoring every second of my fear. Then the sirens blared outside. Red and blue lights flashed through the windows, and for the first time his expression faltered. He turned his head toward the sound, giving me the opening I needed. I charged past him, bolting for the door, I barely made it outside before the officers swarmed in, tackling him to the ground. They found a knife in his coat pocket, a length of rope, duct tape. He wasn't just watching me. He had planned something far worse. The police later told me he had a long history of stalking and breaking into homes, but this was the first time he had been caught in the act. He had been following me since Valentine's Day, obsessed, fixated on making me his. It's been months since that night, but I still don't sleep easily. Every creak in the house, every shadow in the corner of my eye sends a jolt of terror through me. And every year when Valentine's Day rolls around, I can't help but wonder, what if they hadn't arrived in time?